morning. My name is Peter Kaczynski. I'm the Republican co-chair of the New York State Board of Elections, and I'm joined today by my fellow Republican Commissioner, Tony Casale. And in accordance with Section 2112B3D of the New York State election law, I call this meeting of the Republican Commissioners in order for the purpose of certifying nationally known or matching fund candidates for ballot access for the presidential Republican primary to be held on April 2nd, 2024 in New York State. At this time, I will ask Deputy Counsel Kevin Murphy to please read the requirements for ballot access for these candidates.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just for the record, I think there was just a slight misstatement there. The section of law being 2122B3D. Just wanted to clarify.
I apologize. What did I say?
I think 21112 instead of 122.
And that's wrong.
Just wanted to clarify.
I know that's wrong, and I said it anyway. I apologize.
No problem.
2122.
Yeah.
B3D. I'll get that right. I apologize.
No,
Thank
no problem.
You for correcting me.
In accordance with Chapter 474 of the laws of 2023, any candidate seeking to appear on the Republican primary ballot may request by certification filed and received by the State Board of Elections no more than 16 weeks and not later than 9 weeks prior to the date of the presidential primary that they are a nationally known and recognized candidate. Such candidate shall be eligible to be on the ballot only if the Republican Commissioners of the New York State Board of Elections determine that the person is a nationally known and recognized candidate and that the candidacy of such person for the party nomination is generally and seriously advocated or recognized according to reports in the national or state news media. Additionally, any candidate who has been certified as eligible to receive presidential primary matching fund payments pursuant to the provisions of 11 CFR Part 9033 or meets the eligibility criteria regarding matchable contributions established in 11 CFR 9033.2B3, regardless of whether such candidate actually applied for such matching fund payments, may request by certification filed and received by the State Board of Elections no sooner than 16 weeks and not later than 9 weeks prior to the date of the presidential primary that the name of the candidate appear on the ballot at the primary election. Such determinations shall be made solely upon a joint recommendation by the Republican Commissioners of the State Board of Elections, and no other Commissioner of the State Board of Elections shall participate in such determination.
Thank you, Kevin. Based on your report, it is clear that the sole requirement for these candidates is either nationally known or recognized as determined by the Republican Commissioners, or any candidate who has met the matching funds. At this time, I'm going to ask the staff to report on their findings for all the certificates filed requesting either nationally known and recognized status or any candidate who's met the matching funds. Mr. Riley?
Thank you, Commissioner Casale. The following candidates have filed certificates with supporting documents requesting ballot access for nationally known status. All filings were received during the specified time period, and they are Donald J. Trump, Chris Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Ryan Binkley, and David Stuckenberg. Additionally, in the certificate for Nikki Haley, the candidate also requested ballot access for meeting the requirements of the matching funds. She's the only candidate to make such claim. Based on staff review of the documents, we believe the following candidates, staff review of the documents and staff review of media reports, we believe that the following candidates meet the requirements as nationally known and recognized, and they are Donald J. Trump, Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy. Nikki Haley also claimed the matching fund threshold, but since we are designating her as a nationally known candidate, we would recommend making the decision based on that. Staff does not recommend placing Ryan Binkley or David Stuckenberg on the ballot, as we do not believe either candidate meets the requirement of being generally and seriously advocated or recognized according to reports in the national or state news media.
Thank you, Ray. Have there been any objections filed to those certificates?
There have not. They have. There would have had to have been objections filed 3 days after the filing, and we have not received any.
Okay. I just want to clarify for the public what our objection process here is at the State Board of Elections, because we have received several pieces of correspondence regarding Donald Trump's candidacy, requesting that he be denied access to the ballot. However, none of this correspondence falls into the category of an objection as outlined by the requirements of the election law. According to the election law, an objector has to file a document within 3 days contesting the certificate filed by any candidate. For an objection to be considered, it would have to be filed within 3 days, and then that would be called a general objection. Within 6 days of that filing, the objector would then need to file a specific objection. This would need to outline what the specific deficiency of the document filed was. A copy of the specific objection would need to be sent by overnight mail to the candidate, and proof of service must be filed with this board. None of that has happened to our knowledge. This was not done specifically with the certificates filed by Donald Trump or any other candidate requesting ballot access as nationally known or recognized candidate. These rules are in place to provide due process to all candidates so that they have an opportunity to answer any objections made to their candidacy, and to ensure that all candidates and objectors are held to the same standard. We cannot act unless these standards are met, as that would be a violation of the election law. Our consistent practice for all ballot access determinations for any and all elections has been the standards as described above. Under these rules, no objections have been filed to any of these certificates.
Mr. Kaczynski, I agree with you, and I agree with everything that you've stated. Much correspondence has been received regarding ballot access for former President Trump, asking us to remove him from the ballot. The commissioners and the staff have all reviewed each and every piece of correspondence received. While we understand the opinions shared in these letters, the matter before this board is confined to the law for ballot access in New York State, as previously read by our Deputy Counsel and by Commissioner Kaczynski.
Thank you, Commissioner Cassell. Brendan, according to press reports, a number of these candidates have suspended their candidacies. Has any candidate in our list requested to have their name removed from the ballot?
We have not received anything yet.
Okay, so the process, I believe, ends today, if I'm correct. That any candidate that submitted a request to be included can have their name removed, but they have to file a certificate by today with this board.
Correct.
You're saying as of this moment that has not happened?
Correct.
May I ask, have we advised the candidates or their staffs of this requirement?
We have.
Okay.
Okay, so based on that, we will just be considering the certificates that were filed with us, and since none have been withdrawn, we will make a determination based on each of these candidates. I believe that also in the law, these candidates have until March 26th of this year to request that the Board of Elections not tally their votes. So even if they continue to appear on the ballot, if they submit a certificate after today to us, then if they do appear, their votes would not be counted.
Correct.
They're voted for at the primary.
Correct. They would be voided votes.
All right. Fair enough. With that said, I think we should take up each of the candidates' requests, Commissioner. And the first one we have, I think we should consider, and I would note for everyone that we have here documents that were filed by each of the candidates.
Right.
Some more voluminous than others, but each one filed a certificate with some accompanying material with their certificate requesting that they be granted ballot access. So the first name that comes before us is Donald Trump. As a nationally known candidate, I vote yes. Commissioner Cassell?
I vote yes.
Okay. And we will move on to the next candidate is we have a request from Nikki Haley as a nationally known candidate. I vote yes. Commissioner Cassell?
I vote yes.
Next, we have a request from Chris Christie to appear as a nationally known candidate. And while we note, again, he suspended his campaign according to media reports, we have nothing here withdrawing his name, so we will consider his name, and I vote yes. Commissioner Cassell?
I vote yes as well.
Next, we have Vivek Ramaswamy who also has submitted a certificate. We also understand he has suspended his campaign. However, we've received nothing official from his campaign requesting he be removed. So I vote yes as a nationally known candidate. Commissioner Casale?
I vote yes.
Okay. Next, we have a request from Ryan Binkley. Now, Ryan Binkley has given us a request as a nationally known candidate. Based on staff recommendations and our own, I vote that he does not meet the standard for nationally known candidate. Thus, I vote no on his candidacy. Commissioner Casale?
I agree, and I vote no as well.
And the last one is David Stuckenberg has also filed a certificate with, actually his, I should say his, I believe his attorney filed the certificate. He didn't do it himself. I'm not sure if that complies with the law, to be honest. I think maybe the candidate has to do it himself. But that said, I would consider it as a nationally known candidate. But again, based on staff recommendations and my own, I am voting no as far as ballot access.
I vote no.
Thank you, Commissioner. And thank you, Commissioner Casale, and thank you to the staff. We have no other business to come before the two commissioners here today. And based on that, I will close the meeting, and we will open at the State Board of Elections in a few months. Thank you. Good afternoon. This is the meeting of the New York State Board of Elections here on February 6, 2024. I'm Peter Kuczynski, co-chairman of the board. With me is Tony Casale, a fellow commissioner. We have two new Democratic commissioners today joining us, although they're not here. They're joining us remotely, and I'd ask them to introduce themselves and maybe tell us a little about themselves. Henry, maybe we can start with you.
Hi, I'm Henry Berger. Sorry I can't be with you. I tested positive for COVID yesterday and felt it better not to inflict that on all of you. I have a long history as an election lawyer, have appeared before this board several times, you know, I'm glad that even as I move along, I can still continue to participate with you this time in a different capacity.
Great. And Esma, you want to introduce yourself? And
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Esma Bagnola. I am the former Chief Clerk of Nassau County Board of Elections. I've worked very closely with the State Board for years, and I'm excited to join the team. I'm sorry I can't be there. I'm excited for the future in-person ones.
We'll look forward to meeting you when you do make it up, and we're glad you could join us today as well. So we'll start today's meeting with the I guess just before we start, I just wanted to make note that Brian Kolb's here from our Public Campaign Finance Board. He's joining us today, although the Public Campaign Finance Board isn't meeting, but Brian is here. Brian, did you want to say anything? You're just here today to sit in on our meeting?
Yes, thank you. Just very quickly, and I'm coming from the angle of, we call it the Public Campaign Finance Board because it's the finances program. And
Brian, I'm sorry, maybe you want to come around. You're not on video, and I don't know if you want to be on video, but maybe if you're going to say something so people can see who's talking, maybe that would be... No, come back here. Come back here, I think. Because I can see we can't.
if I had known,
That's good right there. Perfect.
Who's talking?
No, you're fine.
All right.
Go ahead.
Let me, again, I will be brief, but I think it was important today to be here. Several weeks ago, we had scheduled the Public Campaign Finance Board meeting to precede the POE meeting currently is going on today, because the entire board consists of 3 PCFP commissioners, and then, of course, the rest of the BOE as far as on that board. And my concern is the fact that we did not meet as the PCFB, because this is a public program. This year, it's $100 million of taxpayer money that's being spent on a brand new program for the New York State Legislature and our statewide offices. And transparency, for public view, for fiduciary responsibility, I think we should have had that meeting today. And again, whether we have something to vote on or not is immaterial because of the significant nature of this program. You know, we have staff issues, we have space issues, we have registrants that have to be in place by February 26th. And I think, and I want to stress this, I think the staff on both sides of the aisle has done a tremendous job getting this program ready to be implemented in 2024. So I think really the staff has done a terrific job, and I think they should have been allowed to report to the public about the status of all the major issues and programs regarding the PCFP. So that really is my basic message. I don't understand why the other two commissioners for the PCFP aren't here, or why they couldn't have been here remote, because all I've heard is, well, we didn't have anything to vote on, and I think that's not a responsible response when we should have a report to the public, because it's a $100 million program in its first year of implementation, and that's why I think it's so important that we should have had the meeting. So I appreciate you listening. Appreciate the opportunity to share a few words, and with that, I will disappear out of the camera site.
Thank you, Brian. I hope you can stay for a meeting, and you're always welcome. I would note there's some chatter online here, and I don't know where it's coming from, but it's very disruptive. I don't
Muted and I don't.
getting a lot of chatter on our line here. Is there any way to shut that down before we continue? It would be very distracting.
This one. Connected. Applications. I think so. I don't know why you said that. I don't know why, because maybe he doesn't see. I just want to make sure I'm done. And I have to unplug this because that's the only input I have. You can hear. No, I can't. You can't. I couldn't, and then I could, and I don't know what's...
Whoever is currently speaking, your audio is actually coming through, so I'm not entirely sure who was currently speaking. We're just trying to...
No.
Still there.
Shut it down and redo it? Do you think
I
that's...
think maybe we should call it
It appears to be somebody doesn't even know they're on our line, because they're just chatting.
If somebody's dialed in and they're not double muted, like maybe there's not over there.
Who would have dialed in?
I don't know why.
They would show
On the
up.
right-hand side, right?
Yep.
What's MSC stand for?
That's probably
Like you have to broadcast.
Well, we know everybody else there. The two commissioners are by themselves.
Audio the thing, or you want to just say play?
Could it? Is it?
I don't know how to do it.
There we go.
It's still there.
It asked me to connect to Wi-Fi, is that why?
Are we on live now?
We are still live, yes. I think we're okay now.
Can we talk?
We're finished.
Henry and Esma, can you hear us?
Okay.
And can we hear you? Can you
I
guys
hear.
say something?
Yep.
All right, I think we're good.
All right.
Gentlemen, I want you to know,
We'll take
this does not normally happen at State Board of Elections meetings. First one. I don't want you to think this happens regularly. It doesn't. Clearly something to do with you guys. Don't do it again. So at any rate, we'll start with the minutes of the December 7th, 2023 meeting. And is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it since I was here, and I guess neither one of you were, so I don't know that you want, I guess you almost have to vote to get it done, but I understand you weren't here. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Esma, I think you have to vote if you're prepared to vote.
Yep, aye. Sorry, I didn't do it fast enough.
Okay, and that is a affirmative vote, so the minutes are approved. The next order of business are ballot access determinations, and we have 4 prima facie cases before us. They are all, 2 are for presidential candidates, 1 is for delegate, for a presidential candidate. These are all determined insufficient, all 3 filings, based on a prima facie review by the staff. I think we all have the report in front of us. Are there any questions on this report? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the report as submitted by staff.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, then that's approved as well. All right, then we'll move on to unit updates. So the unit updates will begin with the executive, Kristen Lane. Whoever wants to start, Kristen, Ray? Ray starts. Okay, Ray, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, and welcome to our new Democratic Commissioners. The co-executive directors worked with staff throughout the agency, as well as coordinated with county boards of elections and other state agencies on several issues since the December 7th, 2023 board meeting. Most recently, the New York State Board of Elections has accepted filings for the ongoing special election in the 3rd Congressional District, as well as nomination for President of the United States from both major parties. Filings were uneventful and went very smoothly. Last month, the Election Commissioners Association of New York held their winter conference in Albany. Commissioners from across the state met to exchange information, received updated guidance on several changes to election law, and provide multi-jurisdictional support. These twice-a-year conferences provide both the state and county boards a vital opportunity to interact in person on a large scale. New York State Board of Elections took a leadership role in this conference and provided presentations from each department of the agency. We provided a full panel of discussions on the 2023 elections, as well as preparations for the 2024 elections, and we held an open Q&A session with the county boards. A often talked about topic here has been space planning, and I'm happy to report that since our December meeting, we've had some real and significant progress, both in the construction project on 5, as well as acquiring additional space inside the building. Working with our partners at OGS, we were assigned the 7th floor of this building, in addition to maintaining the 5th. Staff that was temporarily relocated to space on the 1st floor have been relocated to the 7th floor as of this moment. Additionally, staff that was, PCFB staff that was assigned to the 5th floor has now been moved up to 7 so that they have a full space to work with. The 5th floor construction phase 1 is in its final steps. We're hopeful to move staff over to the completed half in the next few weeks, allowing for construction to begin in phase 2. We continue to have bi-weekly meetings with the agency and the 4 contractors to coordinate as we progress. OVR and AVR, happy to report, online voter registration continues to be effectively deployed across the state since May 1st, 2023 inception, including the separate New York City system. We have seen a total of just over 21,000 transactions through February 4th. We continue to work closely with county boards, county-based IT, and voter registration vendors to ensure processing of the data. and we continue to monitor usage and seek to raise awareness so that more residents can access the system. As for automatic voter registration, as we've spoken about several times in previous meetings, we have partnered with New York State ITF to implement AVR and the clearinghouse necessary to transfer information between the states, the counties, and the various agencies. Work continues to be ongoing. We expect to be signing off on a final schedule in the coming weeks and currently anticipate a Phase 1 completion of Q4 '24 and a final completion in Q1 to Q2 of 2025. The PCFB SBOE integrated software solution, which had originally started as a PCFB only solution, continues to make its way through procurement. The project currently sits with the Office of State Comptroller awaiting their sign-off. It has made its way through OGS approval. We have communicated with OGS to answer questions from Office of State Comptroller several times in the last few weeks, and we're hopeful that we will get sign-off in the coming weeks. As stated previously, PCFB has created a manual solution to handle matching claims and audits as we await the software solution. We continue to meet bi-weekly with Division of Budget, Office of General Services, Enforcement, and the Executive Branch. Co-directors and staff continue our monthly conference calls with the Election Commissioners Association, and we continue to work on training and guidance to provide CBOEs with the resources and tools to carry out their statutory duties. Looking forward to April, with the conclusion of this meeting, SBOE can send out certification of ballot for presidential primary scheduled for April 2nd, and we stand ready to assist all the counties as they need for that election. Finally, I want to acknowledge Jude Seymour, our candidate for Deputy Director of Operations. Jude has been the Jefferson County Republican Elections Commissioner since February of 2015. During that time, he's managed election administration for the county, accumulating knowledge in voting systems, ballot access, list maintenance operations, and election law. He's presented at numerous times at the New York State Election Commissioners Association conferences and served as the NYSECA Program Committee co-chair since 2020. Later in this meeting, we will be asking the commissioners to adopt a resolution appointing him to the position. I want to welcome Jude again, and I think I speak for everybody when I say we're looking forward to working with him and having the Deputy Director of Operations role filled here at the State Board. And with that, I pass it along to Kristen for any additional comments she may have.
Thank you. I just wanted to take a moment to welcome our new commissioners on the Democratic side, Commissioner Berger, Commissioner Gagnola. I'm thrilled to have you here. I'm thrilled that you're a part of our team, and I look forward to working closely with you. I'd also like to welcome Jude. I've worked with him for many years on the Election Commissioners Association, and we do have a bit of a dream team here at the State Board. I think some of the counties that maybe they would term it poached from. I would not. I would say we're moving them up with their knowledge, and they will, I'm sure, have replacements that will take on those roles in the ECA, and I thank you very much. I would just add that as of today, we have the Public Campaign Finance Board has 207 registered committees, which is excellent. 171 of those are certified in the program. There has been outreach to candidates. There has been outreach to county party chairs. I believe there will soon be outreach to state party chairs. And there is an ongoing media campaign to make sure that all are aware of the February 26th deadline to certify in the program. But in addition to the PCFB staff, that staff and our State Board staff has really done a phenomenal job over the past few months under difficult circumstances with space, and we are nearing the end of that journey. And we're looking forward to a very busy presidential year. And just if I might take a moment, Commissioner Spano has asked me to read some comments to you and to the public. I'm going to read it in Commissioner Spano's voice. I would have liked, because that's how he wrote it, I would have liked to have done this in person at the last meeting, but I had promised to stay on until a new appointment was made. And my previous experience was that these things took time. I thought it would have been awkward attending meetings having already said my goodbyes. I just wanted to say how I've enjoyed my 10 years on the board and how much I have appreciated working with the various commissioners over those years. We had disagreements that were discussed professionally and civilly. We agreed 99% of the time, and I believe we all truly tried to protect the integrity of the system. I really appreciated the staff. Whatever gauntlet the commissioners or legislators threw down at them, they responded professionally and competently. Too bad the public can't see in an objective way the complexity and challenges of what is done here and the work ethic of the people who guard this most critical part of the democracy. I would like to single out my Democratic colleague, Doug Kellner. I had not anticipated that we would leave at the same time. He was a mentor to me and gave much to his responsibility as a commissioner for 18 years. He devoted a great deal of his time and his professional knowledge to the election process in an unselfish way. I enjoyed his passion on many issues, even though we didn't agree sometimes. My congratulations to the new board members. I'm sure their expertise and experience will be an asset to the board. I know this year is not going to be easy, and I hope that, however contentious the campaigns may be, that when it is all over, we come together as a state and a nation. Thank you. Life goes on. And I would just like to say thank you to Commissioners Kellner and Spano for their service to the board and to the voters and the people of the state of New York.
Fair enough, and I'm sure Commissioner Casale and I join you in thanking them for their service. And that was very nice of Commissioner Spano to send us that little note in his absence, so we wish him well in his retirement. Are there any questions for either of the executive directors from any of the commissioners? Hearing none, we will move on to election operations. That's Brendan.
Thank you, Commissioner. Welcome, Commissioners. Welcome, Jude. We're really excited. The Operations Unit has received filings and prepared the certification for the presidential primary. We presented training and participated in the New York State Election Commissioner Conference, training conference in this past January. We continue to work with other units to coordinate our communication and provide assistance to counties and collect required surveys and data. We've been compiling the data from counties for the 2023 annual statistical survey. We have 6 remaining that we'll continue to assist until we receive those. There have been revisions to the 2024 federal survey, so we have revised our survey, and we'll be sending those surveys to the counties and vendors later this week with the new questions highlighted so that they'll be prepared to collect that information. Staff conducted acceptance testing for several counties, and since our last meeting, we've conducted acceptance testing on almost 3,000 new voting machines. We'll continue acceptance testing likely at least through the June primary. We assisted in the revision and development of new absentee and early voting applications. We're happy to report that all counties are participating on the Civic Roundtable platform. There are 2 special elections on February 13th, Assembly District 77 and Congressional District 3, and we continue to provide support to those counties. Additionally, we've received a resignation from Congressional District 26, so we expect that another special election will be announced shortly. We're working with the Office of Court Administration on certification of the judicial vacancies. As soon as we have that certification, we will share. For voting systems, we've been working to review and revise the voting system regulations. This has taken a little longer than expected, but we're hopeful to have proposals to you later this month. We've continued to work with voting system vendors on some programming changes and enhancements. For voter registration systems, we've met with vendors to discuss upcoming dates and requirements, and we continue to work with our electronic book providers on updates to their operating system and their applications for the upcoming elections. Brendan?
Yeah, I just wanted to actually echo Commissioner Spano's comments and thank the staff. I know we've had some new people in operations that have really stepped up to the plate to do this. We've had some people that have left operations that have come back to assist, so it's really been a team effort, and I just want to thank all the staff for putting all this together, too.
Any questions for Amy or Brendan from the commissioners? None? Okay, then we'll move on to council compliance, it's called, and that is Brian and
Thank you. Again, and welcome to the new commissioners. For their benefit, but also for the benefit of all, I thought it might be a good idea to do a more thorough rundown of our current litigation and a number of the decisions that we're still waiting on, just for a fuller picture of all the matters that are still outstanding. So first, a few that have more recent developments. In Stefanik versus Hochul, which is the early mail, the challenge to the early mail voting statute, that case, the motion to dismiss was granted yesterday. So that case has been dismissed and the statute has been deemed constitutional. I would anticipate an appeal of some form in that matter, but we are not yet aware of that, so we will keep everyone apprised. In Common Cause versus Kaczynski, this is the case challenging the certification of the Express Vote XL voting machine. That return date is this Friday, February 9th. A motion to dismiss has been filed by the Attorney General's office on our behalf. We are represented by the AG in that matter. NAACP versus Kaczynski. This is the challenge on what's colloquially referred to as the line warming ban. A bench trial has been set in that matter for March 4th. That is an SDNY case. We are continuing to work with outside counsel on preparations for that trial. Obviously, it is a month away, but that month will pass very quickly, so that was right around the corner. In Burns versus State of New York, this is the challenge to the process by which what's referred to as the New York State Equal Rights ballot measure would be placed on the ballot for this fall. That return date was moved up from its original spot on the calendar to March 19th. The board has filed a no position letter in that matter, but we'll be keeping track, obviously, of any developments in that case. Those would be the four with the most recent actions. However, there are a number of cases that we remain awaiting a decision on, or any sort of movement depending on the case. Just a quick rundown of those. Castro versus New York State Board of Elections is a federal lawsuit relating to the qualifications of President Trump to appear on the ballot based on the 14th Amendment. That has been filed in federal court in the Northern District. The State Board has filed a no position letter in that, and as everyone is probably aware, the Supreme Court intends on hearing similar matters for that issue on Thursday, February 8th. So we anticipate that will be resolved in some fashion by the Supreme Court's ruling. In Amador versus State of New York, this is the challenge to the absentee ballot canvassing statute that was somewhat recently changed. A hearing was held in court on that in early October. We await a decision on that matter. It has been some time, so we are hopeful that we will have a resolution on that in short order. Frenzel versus Moore, this is a challenge in federal court to the change to the OTB statute, which requires votes for an OTB to be from within the party itself, that outside party members are no longer eligible to participate in an OTB election. We have filed an opposition letter in that matter. The preliminary injunction to prevent it from going into effect was denied back in September. An appeal from that preliminary injunction has been filed, but that appeal is moving at, I would say, standard federal lawsuit speed, so that's as far as we've gotten on that. Schmidt versus Kaczynski, that was the Libertarian Party challenge relating to out-of-state witnesses to petitions. All papers were filed in that matter, actually in late September of 2022, and how we've been operating on that was based on the preliminary injunction that was granted initially in that case, but the decision on the merits of that matter is still outstanding a year and a half later, so we are hoping for some movement on that at some point.
Where is that, Kevin?
I believe that was SDNY, but I will...
Federal court?
Yes, that was...
Manhattan?
Yes, I believe so. Brian, do you know that off the top of your head?
I think it's either SDNY or EDNY, and I can't recall.
I think it's SDNY because one of the other... No, you're right. That was EDNY. That's Eastern District. Yes, sorry.
So that was what you said, September of 22?
Correct.
And it's now, I think, it's February of 24?
Yes.
Now?
Yes, that is correct. The last couple here, Fasella versus Adams, this is the New York City non-citizen voting statute that was challenged. The argument in the second department on the appeal was heard on June 23rd of 2023, and the second department has yet to issue a decision in that matter. And then finally, similarly, Upstate Jobs Party versus Kaczynski. This is the federal case regarding non-party contribution limits and housekeeping accounts for the non-major parties. The oral argument was held on appeal in the Second Circuit on May 10th of 2023, and we are still awaiting decision on that matter as well. So a number of lawsuits outstanding that we are hoping to have movement on, hopefully sooner rather than later. But I'm happy to answer any questions on any of those matters if anyone has any. Happy to also provide any information, as I'm sure Brian is, to our new commissioners relating to any background on those.
Any questions for Kevin? Brian, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I do not.
Oh, I have more for the report. That was I just wanted to take a break from the litigation. Just pausing to get through the litigation.
All right, don't let me get away.
Just wanted to take a brief moment to discuss the fact that obviously redistricting, the process continues based on the court order. Maps are due to the legislature by the Independent Redistricting Commission by February 28th. We will be keeping a close eye on that, as depending on how the timing works in that process, obviously, there will have to be a discussion about the petitioning process and the time frames and that related time frame. Yes?
Anyone want to opine is what we would consider the drop-dead date by which either maps are drawn or we have to call for a different primary? Or change the election law somehow? What's the timetable there?
I don't have a thought on what a drop-dead date is. I think that as we get close to the beginning of the process, there would need to be some legislative adjustments, and historically speaking, that's happened in any number of ways. We've seen in certain extreme instances where the primary has been moved, such as in the Harkenrider context, where literally the ballot access has completely been completed for the upcoming primary before the decision came in or was within a day or two of being completed and necessitated an additional primary. But typically when the legislature makes adjustments, they will do everything they can to keep the primary in place and make adjustments in the timetables surrounding the petitioning process and the related procedures. And that would potentially be an option as well. And I honestly don't know if there's a possibility that the Redistricting Commission will get its work done sooner or later, and the legislature will obviously, if the work is not done in a sufficiently timely manner, will need to tell us, what accommodations they're going to make in terms of alterations to the process, if any.
I appreciate it. We have some time on this, but I think we ought to give some thought. If it gets to a point where a congressional primary would have to be moved, we want to take a position asking the legislature to move all the primaries to avoid having 4 elections in 1 year. That's something we should think. I don't think we need to discuss it today, but I just throw it out as a suggestion, an idea that we think about, that we ought at least weigh in as to whether or not we want to have 4 elections this year. It's a big burden on the counties, obviously.
I think we would definitely not want an additional
I understand.
primary.
So the possibility of expressing a thought or an opinion as to whether or not we believe that there ought to be, all primaries should be moved and not just the congressional.
Well, your point is definitely well taken about the timing, because if I'm not mistaken, the February 28th deadline for the maps to be delivered is a day into the current petitioning period. I believe that starts on the 27th. So it obviously is something that needs to be taken into account.
Well, then we want to take a position.
So
We're asked our opinion, what we think.
So we will be sure to keep everyone apprised on that with any developments as soon as they come up. And then finally, just a few matters relating to compliance. I'd like to state that the total number of active filers on the compliance end is currently 8,385 filers. Since the last board meeting, staff has completed 6,637 reviews. We registered 232 candidates as well as 105 committees, while simultaneously terminating 404 committee and candidate records. Through the CF Info email address since the last board meeting, about 675 emails have been processed through that account by staff providing varying levels of assistance relating to filing. Obviously, that number is a bit higher than average, but that is in track with the fact that we had the January periodic report this past month that went in, so we get a pretty big burst of emails around that time. And I believe that is it for me, unless Brian has anything to add.
I have nothing.
Any questions from the commissioners for either council? Okay. Then we'll move on. We'll move on to
welcome to the Food and Drug Commissioner. Both of you, and I especially look forward to getting together with you again.
Michael, I just want you to speak up just a little.
Okay.
Thank you.
The last time that I spoke at the meeting, I talked about our steps that we were going through with regard to non-filers. We started off just as a sort of a test to see how the process would go. We started off with 25 non-filers. It took us approximately 6 weeks for everyone to get served by our process servers, and out of those 25, 16 people have settled, 4 are in the middle of negotiations, 5 we've not heard from, 3 we're just probably going to wind up going for default judgments against them, and 2, my suspicion is those were just bad service, so we'll wind up probably moving those into our next batch. As the next step, I sent a list to council's office of 200 individuals, 200 committees, and this was sent to them for aggravation for this to be considered a non-filing matter for the purposes of administrative adjudication. We looked at 500 confirmed delivery addresses that we had, and then based on a random selection, we came up with 200. We came up with 200 in part because looking at how much the contract has left on it with regard to the process servers, between the 25 we've already used up, these 200, and the hearing officer matters that we've submitted to council's office, we will be pretty much close to, if not the end of that contract limit. We're in the process of starting to do a whole new contract for process servers, one that will be tailored more to what we need and get things done. And also, as far as the non-filers coming up, we got a list from compliance counsel's office, and actually when we matched it against what we ran, it was only off by 1. And it turned out it was 1 because someone filed after we received their list. Approximately 3,300 emails were sent out to non-filers. Those emails were sent out on the 26th of January. As of yesterday, roughly, we now have 2,265 non-filers. So between the time we sent out our email and as of yesterday, roughly about 1,000 people have made their filings. On Monday, we plan on sending out the 2,265 certified letters to the non-filers, and also we will send out letters to candidates, just letting them know your treasurer didn't make the filing, and you probably should touch bases with your treasurer to see what's going on. We will also be giving the treasurers, rather, we will be giving them roughly a 2-week window with which to make their filings and to come, to get things up and running for that, on that note. Other than that, that's basically where we stand right now.
Okay, any questions for Michael? So I appreciate what you're saying, that you're starting to process these so you file more actively and more comprehensively than you've done before, and that's good to hear. I hope you can work that out. I just have a couple questions about, I've been looking at your settlements that you've been giving us, that you've made with various committees, and I just have some questions. And, as you know, I have raised before issues of, equal treatment, and I mean, I understand you have to pursue people, but I want to just ask a couple questions about, the way these settlements are playing out. So, for example, there's a settlement you reached, I'm not going to give the names here necessarily, but there's a settlement you reached with a committee that failed to file 5 reports for $5,500. And then there's another committee that also failed to file 5 reports for $500. There's a report here, there's a failure to file 9 reports, they got a $4,000 settlement, and there's another one, failed to file 10 reports, no penalty at all. I see one where they filed 25 reports, failure to file $6,500, 28 reports, $12,500. Seems to me like there's a disparity here between, you know, what they failed to file, number of reports. I understand you have the authority, I believe, to get $1,000 for failure to file 1 report and $10,000, I believe, for 3 failures. And I understand you have to settle, but I'm looking at the settlements and the equity of them. It seems like you've got treasurers who've made, as I mentioned, 5 reports, $5,500, another one, 5 reports, $500. Why the disparity? Why would one that filed, I missed 5 reports, he missed 5 reports, I get a $5,500, he gets a $500. I'm trying to understand the rationale behind these disparate settlements that you're having for what I would say are similar, if not the same, violations.
I mean, not every circumstance is the same. Not every fact pattern is the same. Some of those settlements are the result of it going to a hearing officer and the individual realizing, okay, I'm going to contest this. Then they realize, okay, it's in front of a hearing officer. Now I have to hire an attorney. Then we get to that point where the settlement can potentially be higher. Or you have someone who says, okay, I don't want to go to a hearing officer. Let's settle it right here and now. So if there's a great effort expended on our part in terms of getting a hearing officer, putting the papers together, the attorney in the office doing the legwork, that has to be taken into consideration. So there are numerous things that get taken into consideration when we're looking at these. A lot of those settlements, like, you know, the ones that are in front of you, I don't have them in front of me, but the lower amounts, a lot of times people simply decide, I'm not going to contest it. I don't want to have a hearing officer. And they simply will say, okay, let me settle it.
So a report, a failure to file 10 reports gets 0 penalty. Can you give me a fact pattern where that's justified?
Again, I don't have it in front of me.
I know you don't. I'm just trying to
give you. Okay, I'll give you a fact.
Okay.
A situation where someone had a treasurer who died, and no one made the filings, and they couldn't find any of the materials to make the filings, and finally it got done. And I can't decide, I don't want to penalize them because someone died and no one knew about it or took steps to make those filings.
Okay, here's a filing, 15 reports, $7,500, 25 reports, $6,500. I'm saying there's a lot of disparities here, and I think they need to be explained.
There are a lot of disparities when it comes to the fact patterns.
Well, I think those need to be explained better, because I'm not seeing those explanations in your settlements. I'm just seeing you laying out the facts, failed to file, failed to do this. Penalty is X, and I don't think you're giving much justification for the kinds of disparities we're seeing here in these settlements. And that's troubling to me, and those fact patterns may be that, but I think it would be better if you gave a more detailed fact pattern to help people, not just myself, but the public understand why these distinctions occur in these particular settlements, because it smacks of unequal treatment of a similarly situated situation. And I think that's troubling. Certainly it is to me, and I think it would be troubling to anybody, that some people with the same violations are being treated from others with those same violations. And I think it's important to make sure that the public is assured that there is not this disparity of treatment without some legitimate explanation. So I think it would be helpful if you gave those kind of explanations in the context of your settlement, so for the public settlement, I mean, I'm talking about the settlement that goes public, because there is a portion of this that becomes a public record. And I think in that public record, it's important to establish those kinds of disparities so that people understand why different people are being treated in different ways.
Duly noted.
Duly noted. Does that mean you'll help us do that, or you're just going to take that under consideration now, or how do you feel about it?
I'll take it under consideration.
That's what we're going to get. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Then are there any other questions? Go ahead.
I went through the list of closed investigations, and it occurred to me, these are all say that there was a complaint filed, usually by email. Now, I know you don't give the name of the complainant, we don't expect that, but are you aware of who these complainants are when they come in, or are they all anonymous?
Very few, I would say pretty much more than 90% of complaints that come in, we know who the individual is because they disclose who they are.
Okay. My concern is this, and I remember going back years ago when we were doing in the legislature frivolous lawsuit legislation in the civil courts. It seems a lot of these complaints really are very frivolous. When someone claims a candidate doesn't expect to win, I mean, what kind of complaint is that? And complaints about people, so-and-so didn't file, and all of a sudden you find that you settled them all. I agree with your settlements, don't get me wrong. But I'm wondering, is there anything we can do or you can do to discourage the frivolous complaints? You can't penalize someone for a frivolous complaint, can you?
No.
Okay. It seems like it seems that all the work we expect you to do is kind of a waste of your time. In some cases, it's a waste of your time, of your staff time.
The complaints that I have to...
I understand.
There are a lot, there are way more than what you see in front of you that have absolutely no merit, but I still have to do that research.
Okay. I understand. Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to NVRA PIO. Kathleen and Jennifer.
Thank you, Commissioners, and I'd like to extend a welcome to our new Commissioners. I look forward to working with both of you. Starting with our general public information functions, since the last board meeting on December the 7th, we had a ton of FOIL requests. In December, we received and completed 101 requests. In January, we received 148. 136 of those are completed, with 12 still in progress. And in February through this morning, we've received 24 requests, 19 of them are already filled. So the total since our previous board meeting, we've received 273 requests, 256 of those are completed, and we continue to work with the various units here at the board to fill and respond to those FOILs. Big news from PIO since our last board meeting was the launch of the website refresh for the State Board's website. I'm pleased to share we had a successful and on-time launch on January 23rd last month. Prior to launch day, we conducted demonstrations both internally for SBOE staff as well as for county boards of elections. The launch went off very smoothly, and I just want to take a moment to say that I'm very grateful to our partners at ITS and WebMY, and internally to our IT unit for all their help in creating this new website, allowing easier access to the updated information about elections and voting in the state. And a lot of gratitude from Jen and I to the entire PIO team, because this was the bulk of our work in December and January. In terms of the website, both to the old one prior to the kickover to the new one, we published a lot of updated information since our last board meeting, including certified results from November, presidential primary documents for 2024, including ballot access procedures, who filed, and the political calendar, the full 2024 political calendar, as well as political calendars related to the special elections that are happening on February 13th. We've put up more information about early mail ballot, early vote by mail, that went into effect on January 1. We put up new commissioner information, updated board meeting information today, and we've been doing a lot of tweaks to the new website since its launch based on feedback to where we can put information so it's most easily accessible both internally for staff, for county boards, and the public. We continue to work with our accessibility vendors to ensure that all of our website pages meet and exceed the standards required for accessibility. In terms of applications, PIO, along with our IT unit, has been involved in work with Savera, which is our new election results application vendor, which allows for a more visual and interactive display of our election results. We are currently making customizations and modifications to best suit our needs here at the State Board, and I do anticipate linking that Savera application to our new website in the near future. We have done a lot of county board outreach since the last board meeting. For the counties that are involved in these February specials, we've worked to ensure that their poll sites, both early voting and election day, are properly uploaded, as well as their military and overseas voters' ballots are prepared and sent out. The counties did successfully complete the 45-day and 30-day move surveys. We and PIO have begun sending NCOA, National Change of Address, data to counties to comply with the statutory deadline to send that change of address in February. We are working with counties towards the February enrollment deadline, and changes needed to be implemented in NICE Voter because of that, and any change due to the change in district lines. We have been recently in the process of checking all the county boards' websites to ensure that any links they had to the state board website are not broken now that we've launched the new site, and we're reaching out to the counties to make sure that those links are updated so that the county boards are linking to the appropriate material on our site. Visits to county boards by our Special Projects Coordinator and MVRA Coordinator are resuming this month. The first visit for Dawn Metzler and Dan Toomey is going to be to the Delaware County Board in a few weeks, and more are going to be scheduled soon. PIO is also regularly engaged in the Civic Roundtable platform that Amy mentioned earlier to provide updated information and timely updates to the county boards about anything that we're sending out to the public. As far as NVRA goes, the new internal NVR application was tested and deployed and has even been enhanced based on suggestions from our NVRA coordinator, Dan Toomey. He continues to reach out to counties and agencies to ensure proper reporting and documentation as required under the law. In terms of voter registration, we did assist in the revision and translations of revised absentee and no early vote by mail forms. We've also placed our order for new voter registration forms with our vendor. We're ordering about 860,000, I believe, in preparation for the increased demand from the presidential primary, and we're currently waiting an estimated delivery date from the vendor for those. As has been mentioned a few times by my colleagues, PIO participated in all sessions of the ECA conference last month, and we ourselves conducted 3 presentations. We did one presentation entitled Threats to Democratic Elections, Mis, Dis, and Malinformation. We did our normal PIO presentation about grants, NVRA, NICE voter list maintenance, NICE ballot, and NCOA, and we also conducted a demonstration of the new website. In terms of media, for traditional media, since our last board meeting, PIO issued 3 press releases, 2 for SBOE, 1 for the PCFB. The 2 for SBOE, we launched our 10 Days of Election Security social media campaign in December. And then last month, we issued a press release announcing our website launch and kind of joining that together, introducing our 50th anniversary logo. This is the 50th year of the board as an executive department agency, so we've incorporated that into a lot of our content. For PCFB, we put out a release. It was actually the first of this month, celebrating that 200 committees have registered with the program. Outside of the press releases, we've responded to numerous inquiries regarding a wide variety of issues, including 2023 voter turnout, OVR statistics, candidate filing deadlines, a lot of presidential primary ballot access procedures and deadlines, efforts to dispel mis and disinformation, campaign finance filings, information about the 2 specials slated for February 13th, including early voting numbers, PCFB deadlines and procedures, and the early mail ballot information. For social media, we've talked about it in previous meetings. We did launch that Fun Facts Friday series back in August, and that is ongoing. It is our way of sharing important factual information with the hopes of dispelling and diluting misinformation that's out there. Topics covered since our last board meeting include poll worker recruitment, that 50th anniversary, and the party enrollment change deadline. Piggybacking off an effort by the National Association of Secretaries of State, we launched that social media campaign in December, 10 Days of Election Security, while providing daily factual information about elections to voters, one fact a day for 10 days. And we plan to do similar things later this year. For our 3 social media accounts on X or Twitter, we've published 22 tweets since our last board meeting. And a lot of these, in addition to Fun Fact Fridays, have been about website maintenance, the EAC's Help America Vote Day, and special election deadlines. We have 3,944 followers on X. That's an increase of just 27 from our last board meeting. And we had over 33,000 impressions on X. On Facebook, we've published 20 posts. Content is very similar to the X posts. We have 4,101 followers on Facebook, which is an increase of 86 since our last board meeting, and there were 8,900 impressions on Facebook since our last board meeting. And we regularly see county boards and other government and election-related groups share our content to reach an even greater audience. On Instagram, our posts are copied basically directly from Facebook. We have 158 followers, which is an increase of 25 since our last board meeting, and there were 853 impressions on Instagram. For our email service, we've grown to having 2,131 subscribers. That is a 17.4% growth since last board meeting in December. And we've sent out 3 blast emails since that last board meeting. The 10 days of election security, the new website launch and 50th anniversary, and then announcing today's board meeting as well. The last thing I want to cover before handing it over to Jen to talk about grants is about mis and disinformation. As you know, and I continue to stress, this is a big priority for PIO. We continue to work closely with other units to prioritize this issue throughout the busy election year. As just doubling back on some of the efforts that have been done since the last board meeting, that includes that 10 days of election security, our ECA presentation, our new website includes pages related to election technology and security to be very transparent about the technology that goes into the voting process. And we've responded to media claims about dispelling online false claims about elections. So we continue to brainstorm and develop more ways to provide that factual information to dilute the inaccurate information that's circulating, especially online. So that is my update. I will pass it to Jen for a grants update unless you have any questions beforehand.
Jennifer, go ahead.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Since our last meeting, we had we continue to administer our 5 state grants and our 4 federal grants. 4 of our grants have expired since our last meeting. Our expansion, e-poll book, and early voting to localities grants all expired at the end of January. Those grants only had between 1% and 7% of funds remaining, so there's not much money left. Our cybersecurity grant also expired on December 31st. There is significantly more money left in there, about 25%. $2.3 million of the original $9 million of funds. 44 counties have funds remaining. Staff then sent notices to all of the counties that had funds remaining, just reminding them that these were expiring. 90 days to submit claims for those. And the good news is that the budget in her, or the governor, rather, in her budget proposal has put in reappropriations to go ahead and extend those grants. She also put in extensions for our other 2 grants, our absentee postage and tier grants, as well as our 3 federal HAVA grants. And she also included new appropriations, $7.7 million for counties to cover costs associated with early vote by mail, and $14.7 million to cover costs associated with e-poll books and on-demand printers. So we're hoping the legislature will keep those funds in, especially the e-poll books and on-demand printers for a lot of counties are already aging out, so we hope to see those funds included in the final budget. We'll know more in April. For our federal grants, we submitted our annual reports for our cybersecurity, HAVA Shoebox, HAVA Full Site Improvement and Education grants, and we also submitted a second FFR, Federal Financial Report, for our cybersecurity grant. We have to do extra reporting for that. Those were all submitted, and they were all accepted. From our last meeting, we also mentioned that we were exploring submitting for an open grant for funding to support student poll worker recruitment. This was an open grant from the EAC. It was a competitive grant. There was $1 million available. It was very competitive. Over 30 applications were submitted. The state board did submit an application with a proposal for a poll worker recruitment marketing campaign targeting SUNYs and CUNYs. We were hoping to work directly with SUNYs and CUNYs to also print out some paper material like bookmarks and postcards that we were hoping the campuses would help distribute that had poll worker information on there. Unfortunately, we did not win that grant, so that stinks. But we're still going to do the non-cost prohibited aspects of it, so creating some marketing things around poll worker recruitment, not just for students, but for the entire state. So no new money yet, but hopefully at the next meeting we'll hear more about those 2 new grants that hopefully we're going to see in the final budget.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Are there any questions for Kathleen or Jennifer? Hearing none. We'll go on to ITU. Mike, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon, Commissioners, and welcome to our new Commissioners. You probably cannot see me, but believe me, I exist. I'm right over here. So, by way of a brief overview, I'll just briefly explain at a high level what some of the functions of our Board of Elections Information Technology Unit here are. We essentially have three primary subunits, which are infrastructure, contains our network, both on-premise and cloud, our desktop support and other hardware. We have development, which creates new applications and maintains existing applications, such as Capus Fidus and NiceVoter, and oversees the integration of software from third-party vendors. And, of course, cybersecurity, which includes all of our secure election center activities, which we'll discuss in a moment, for supporting county boards, as well as close interaction with our infrastructure team for supporting the security of some of the projects that we have been heavily working on have already been touched upon. For example, our space expansion here in the building. As was earlier mentioned, we've expanded to take over an additional floor in this building. After extending our network to the new floor and moving approximately 90 staff in the past week or so, with more to come, we now maintain an active presence of our network on 5 floors in this building. As discussed at previous board meetings, we are also reviewing some enhanced audiovisual capabilities as part of our move, which probably is particularly pertinent to mention today. And our team is exploring a variety of options there. As the board continues to grow in numbers of staff, our infrastructure team has been busy supporting the onboarding and offboarding of new personnel, in addition to regular maintenance and upgrade activities, and deploying new laptops and related equipment to all SBOE personnel. In the automatic voter registration project, we continue to engage with the rapid development team of New York State's Office of ITS to develop and deploy the AVR and clearinghouse services. A revised draft project schedule was recently provided to us and is under review. Our RT unit team continues to work with business users, both internal to the agency and with other agencies on requirements for that development. At the beginning of January, we deployed an early mail voting request portal. A fairly tight turnaround from the law going into effect till go live. We did successfully develop and deploy that by the January 1st start date. It was a smooth and on-time rollout. As Kathleen mentioned earlier, working closely with the PIO unit in particular, the agency was able to successfully deploy our new website by the target rollout date this month. This included significant involvement from the IT side on our development team, our security team, and our infrastructure teams as part of its success. We also continue to work with the procurement for the integrated software, PCFE, and into other units' integrated software. One of the core systems used by the agency here currently, both internally and externally, is Capus Fidus. That is the Candidate and Petition Administration System and Financial Disclosure Administration System. I'm not going to expect you to have to remember that. Which was launched 3 years ago. The integrated software will replace the Capus Fidus system, and that procurement initially grew out of a response to add additional functionality for the Public Campaign Finance Board. The contract for that procurement continues to make its way through necessary approvals, and in preparation for the system build-out, we are pursuing relevant training for our ITU staff in expectation of supporting the development and maintenance of that system. In order to allow the PCFE to successfully operate prior to the implementation of this new system, our development team continues to work every day to enhance the existing Capus Fidus systems to accommodate new functionality for the Public Campaign Finance Board. Our developers meet regularly with the PCFE business users to document and code those requirements often with tight deadlines and, of course, changes due to statutory or operational needs. Redistricting has also been mentioned, so we do continue to work with counties and the business users internally on redistricting updates to our several systems. And just to go over a little bit about our Secure Election Center and some of the current activity going on related to cybersecurity. That Secure Election Center was set up in 2018 in response to increasing risks facing election offices following the 2016 election. Led by our Chief Information Security Officer, Ben Spear, the SEC has a two-pronged role addressing security both internally at the state board and externally working with the county boards and IT directors to mature their security posture. The SEC was set up as a cross-unit team within the agency consisting of members from not only ITU but also the PIO and operations units. Internally, SEC is primarily driven by ITU and focused on policies, practices, and tools to secure the agency. Externally, SEC elements across teams are responsible for assisting with related grants, evaluating election technology vendor security practices, providing security tools, and training to counties and consulting on county security practices. Currently, the SEC is working with our partners at NISTEC to conduct a compliance review for Part 6220, which is the cybersecurity regulation. Counties are required to attest to compliance every year, but this more in-depth review follows up on initial assessments conducted in 2019 to verify compliance and identify how counties have matured after several years of security initiatives and funding. 2 counties have completed the assessment and 19 are in review. The remaining counties are working with NISTEC to collate their responses. State board staff recently completed mandatory cybersecurity awareness training, and 80% of county board staff have also completed the training program at this time. Training is quite comprehensive and covers a range of topics. We're exploring options to alternate training approaches in future years to keep users engaged and stay on top of the changing threat environment. We also presented to the county boards at the recent ECA conference, as did other units, of course. The SEC contributed to the security review for the SNS Power Profile system before the board today, and will be conducting vulnerability testing of e-poll books with election operations in advance of the April primary. The SEC is currently working on finalizing operational coordination planning with our state-level partners surrounding the 2024 election period and putting together a security exercise and education workshop for county boards to be conducted later this year. And lastly, I do have some website analytics for the past 2 months since those reviewed at our last board meeting. Without going into extreme detail, the website, the BOE website was visited by approximately 50,000 users in December, approximately 66,000 users in January. The primary pages that were visited included voter registration, our online voter registration system, requesting a ballot, and our campaign finance site. And that concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the commissioners? Thank you, Michael. That concludes the unit reports for today. So, we'll move on to old business. Is there any old business to come before the board here today? No. So, we'll go on to new business, and we will now do new business. Our first point of business is the appointment of Jude Seymour as Deputy Director of Election Operations. I believe Ray did a thorough job in giving his resume, his qualifications, his outstanding service to Jefferson County. I think we all agree. And we, as the Republican Commissioners, would like to move his appointment. I agree, I believe. Yes. Commissioner Casale and I. Are there any questions regarding this appointment? If not, I would ask for a vote. All those in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? I believe it's unanimous. Congratulations to Jude. He's here with us today. Jude, if you just want to introduce yourself, maybe to the other two commissioners who's here in the room. He'll be joining us, I hope, thank you very much. I don't know if we have a start date for Jude, but hopefully you'll be here at our next board meeting as a full-fledged staff member, so congratulations.
Before we,
I'm sorry.
congratulate Jude. I've known her for a long time, and I'm very happy he's with us. But I want to say something about Brendan as well. People may not realize, but Brendan's been doing double duty, and there was a period of time when he was doing triple duty when our previous exec director left. I want to thank Brendan for the great job. And you're not going anyplace, so stay right here. Okay. Thank you very much for the work.
Take a day off.
All right, so the next order of business is Resolution 2402, which is the revised absentee ballot application. So somebody on staff can just tell us what the revision is. Sure. That would be helpful. Ray, you're going to do that?
Yeah, sure. There's two revisions to the application. The first is based on a change in election law, which was in effect beginning of this year. We received for applications by mail has gone from 15 days to 10 days, so that was the application. Additionally, due to the fact that there is a presidential primary election this year, we have added that as an option on the absentee ballot application. This became more of a concern because of the changes in the canvass law with 9209. Prior to that, if somebody requested an absentee ballot from multiple primaries, even if they got the ballot for, let's say, April and June, they could still go to the poll site. Now, if they requested a ballot for April but only checked primary, we would then be obligated to send them a June ballot without the clarifier, and then those voters would have been prevented from voting on a machine. So we've added the presidential primary so as to avoid unnecessarily delaying voters who may want to only participate via mail ballot or absentee ballot in one of those elections and want to vote. Those are the two major changes.
So is that provision then for the presidential primary going to go away after this year? Are we going to take it off the application?
It would be the expectation, yes, that after this year.
So this is a 1 year
The change to 10 days is obviously permanent.
Right.
The addition of the presidential primary will be for this year only, and that would be keeping in line with other states and similar canvas.
So we'll have to do a different application for subsequent years, off presidential years? Is that your idea, that we wouldn't have that little line in there future?
Yeah, so maybe we would do, maybe we would have you approve another resolution for the other 3 years, with the expectation that we would include every 2 years.
In the event there's a presidential primary.
Yeah, I don't know if we need a resolution to that effect. I think that just makes sense, but that's good. Okay. Any other questions on this particular resolution? I'd ask for a motion to approve.
Questions up there? No.
I didn't hear any questions.
No, okay.
I looked at them. I would ask for a motion to approve. So moved. And seconded. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I hear no opposition. I believe that's unanimously approved. The next resolution is 2403, which is the early mail ballot application. I believe that was discussed earlier in the context of that lawsuit. The lawsuit would affect this potentially. Is this what we're talking about?
Yes, but as it stands right now, the law has been upheld.
Right. So this still goes forward.
These next 3 resolutions are the early mail ballot applications as required by statute, the general early mail application, but then a specific one for school districts and then villages as they also are specified in the statute to be required.
Okay, so these would have been subject matter of that lawsuit. As we heard earlier, that lawsuit was dismissed earlier today? Yesterday. So we'll go ahead with these particular applications. So the first one is a early mail ballot application. Does somebody want to speak to this, or just to let us know what it is? So this is for whom? Who qualifies for this?
Any registered voter who wishes to request an early mail ballot would fill out this application, if they chose to do so on paper, and submit it with their county board of elections to request an early mail ballot.
Yeah, we'll just change the instructions.
So it applies
early mail ballot.
Early mail ballot, as described in the statute. So this would be, this particular form would apply to county boards of elections. for any election that they administer.
Okay. Okay. Are there any questions regarding this resolution? If not, I'd ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second? Not hearing a second.
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 Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is also approved. The next one is that same early ballot application. This, however, is just for school districts. I guess we need a separate, distinct application just for school districts.
The statute specifies a separate application for school district elections as well as village elections.
Gotcha. So that's why we're seeing all three. Okay.
Somebody tell the school district that?
Yes.
Someone told the school district that? You know, that's to do villages.
All right. Any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2404.
So moved.
So moved.
And I hear a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
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 Opposed? No opposition. That is also approved. Next will be the early mail ballot application for villages. And I guess just villages. Question.
I should know this, I live in a village, but does this apply to all village elections, just those held in November?
This would be all village elections run by the village clerk.
So if there's an election going on for village mayor and trustee right now, there's early voting has to take place? Early mail-in?
Villages run by village clerks.
Not for or for?
Yes, early voting now.
So, explain, I'm sorry.
Early mail applies, but early voting in person does not. So this process would apply, but the 9 days of
And the
in-person.
early mail says, I just want a ballot.
Correct.
Okay.
Is there a distinction between an early mail ballot and just a general election ballot?
The ballot itself would be the same.
This is because they've changed the law, so anybody can apply for a ballot whenever they feel like it.
Yes, yes.
But I'm just concerned, I don't know, well, somebody better tell the village, is all I can say. I don't think they know.
We've communicated.
Not our job.
We've been in communication.
Any other questions on that? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved and second?
Second.
Seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I hear no opposition. That is also approved. The next is the ES&S Power Profile. It's a voter registration system developed by ES&S. And someone can maybe speak to that, what we're approving here today?
Yes.
Brendan?
Mike mentioned that our IT unit, the operations unit, goes through the similar processes that we've had with other voter registration systems. This is an updated system that ES&S is presenting us. There are currently 2 counties in the state that use it, that use their older system, and once this will be approved, they can switch to this new system as well. So we'll go through all the testing and everything else, and we have the reports and the resolution in front of you here today.
Okay, are there any questions regarding this resolution or this new system? I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you, sir. I was just wondering, just want to make sure if we could just make it clear in the resolution at least. I know it's on the agenda, probably is in the report, but that the approval is for version 15.3 of the system.
That's not clear in the resolution.
I don't see it currently in the resolution.
Yeah, it is on the agenda.
Yeah.
It's not in the resolution. So it should be in the agenda, or in the resolution you're saying. So where would you insert that, Tom?
At the very end, I would say to hereby approve the ES&S Power Profile Voter Registration System, version 15.3.
Version 15.3. So, I would add, okay, thank you. If there's, are there any other questions? If not, I'd ask for a motion to adopt the resolution as amended.
So moved.
So moved.
I guess that's a move in a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? I hear no opposition. Okay, that's the end of that. So the next 2 resolutions are regarding our former commissioners, and I just have obviously a good idea. We're commending our former commissioners for their service on the board. Doug Kellner and Andy Spano. Well-deserved. I would just make note that the board hasn't done this before for former commissioners. I don't want former commissioners to take this the wrong way. I served myself with former commissioners, most recently Greg Peterson, who left when Tony Castell came on. Greg was a great commissioner, had a great history, in politics, served as town supervisor in Hempstead. He served as deputy chair of the Nassau County Republican Party. Did lots of great guy. We didn't do a resolution for him. I just don't want people to misinterpret this in any way to think that these former commissioners don't deserve the same treatment. Jim Walsh, who I replaced, another terrific guy, former chair of the Rensselaer County Republican Party. He was a top manager at Niagara Mohawk for many, many years. Served at this board twice. Actually, I think he's the only commissioner that had two different stints here at the State Board of Elections, which is kind of unique for him, but he was so good that we brought him back when there was a vacancy, and he had that kind of reputation as well. So while I'm in favor of these resolutions, I will say that I don't want people to misinterpret that we're adopting these resolutions at the expense of other commissioners. Other commissioners have served here for many, many years. They didn't get the honor of having a resolution passed by the board when they left, but they certainly deserved it. And, we just never have done this before. So while I'm fine with doing these, I'm in favor of doing this kind of stuff. I think I just wanted to make mention that there are other commissioners who served here with distinction, and the fact that we hadn't done a resolution on their behalf is no reflection on their service. They served very honorably, very well, had great distinguished careers in politics, in government, in private industry, and many other walks of life. So they deserve recognition as well. So I will entertain these two. I don't know if you want to take them separately. I guess you can. The first one is for Doug Kellner. The resolution, I believe we put it down, appreciation for his long service here at the State Board, which I know he did, and I think 18 years. And he also served at the City Board for, I think, 10 years. So he had a long service as well. So I would, if there's any other comments or anybody else wants to say anything, that's fine, or I'd just entertain a motion to approve. And I have Henry Berg with his hand up, so I know he wants to say something right now.
I agree with everything you've said. I think this is a great tradition. Maybe it should have been started earlier, but it hasn't been. We should not reject wisdom just because it comes late. And I hope as all of us now on the board move along, we will get such appreciations at the end of our service. But it is with great pleasure that I move this resolution.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other comments, or all in favor? Aye.
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 And we all are in favor of that. And next, of course, Andy Spano, another commissioner who left, as he mentioned, and Kristen read his statement earlier, which I think we all could hear Andy's voice in the comments. But this resolution, I don't think was prepared by Andy, but maybe it was.
No.
I don't know. I have to think it sounds like it was prepared by Andy, but that's okay. But Doug sounded like he prepared his too, so who knows. But is there anybody want to say anything about Andy as well that goes beyond what the resolution says, which I think lays out his long service in government?
He has had a tremendous career.
He has.
He deserves our thanks.
No question.
For a lot of things, not just for your service to the county and to the state.
Yeah, so any other comments? And I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Yes.
I know you do that. And all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, great. That's great. So we approve those two. I believe that is the end. That's the end of the agenda that I have in front of me. I have no other business to come before the State Board of Elections here today. We do not have another meeting scheduled, but we will. I certainly want to, again, extend my welcome to the two new commissioners. If you have any other comments you want to make before we adjourn, I'd welcome them. But in the meantime, what we'll do, and this is our normal practice, we will discuss a future meeting date, and we will all get together and have that meeting date agreed to by staff and commissioners. And at that point, we will hold another meeting, but I don't have a date right here, right now.
I would say end of April, beginning of May is when we will have business to do.
So that's a general rule is in that we try to wait for business to be transacted here. So probably that time frame works, but if something comes up in the meantime, of course, we would meet and do our business as necessary. But for planning purposes, if you guys want to just look at your calendars, and then we can have discussions about a future meeting date. So again, I welcome Henry and Esma to this board, and we look forward to meeting with you again.
Thank you so
Any other
much.
business? You're welcome. Any other business to come before the board? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
And all in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And, the meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you.